I know my camera can be weird, but
It's all good, man. Ladies and gentlemen, man, let's welcome my special guest, man, from Central Michigan, defensive end, Michael Heldman, man. How's it going, bro?
it's going good. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing so well, man. For those people who are not familiar with you, man, tell them who you are.
Well, I'm Michael Heldman from Central Michigan. Played defensive end, and I'm in this year's uh, draft class, and just excited to see where life takes me.
For sure, man. So, what really got you into football?
Well, yeah, I grew up playing. I was a big baseball guy. I always kind of liked football, but kind of my grandparents and my mom thought it was probably smart to start in middle school. Didn't want me to start too early, too young. They didn't know how safe it was, all that. But really when I got into it, it was just a sport I loved. I love competing. I love just being physical. I had some anger issues growing up, so it was a good way to also get out of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of all mixed into one. Started to fall in love with it each year. I kept playing, so that's really why I chose football. So
Oh, family reasons, and plus it helps with the anger issues for some people, right? It's the best
uh,
medicine, like they say.
uh,
You know, the best part about it is when you sack the quarterback, there's no crimes.
no, there's not. Actually, I mean, I think the last time I scored a touchdown was freshman year. I was playing tight end and just a short route. Caught the ball, ran it in for a touchdown. I think that's probably I know other people might say different, but that's probably the second best feeling compared to getting a sack. I
Yeah,
mean,
getting a
getting a sack
touchdown.
is definitely the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, getting a sack to the quarterback has to be a good feeling at your position, but getting a touchdown, you can't go wrong with that. And you play tight end, so that does kind of make that transition. So what does it feel like from going from tight end to playing defensive end? What does that feel from that transition? What's the difference? What made you adjust to that position? And what gives you the advantage when you face a certain player like that?
Well, honestly, so I never really played much tight end, so I basically played the same position from when I first started playing in seventh grade till now, like stand up linebacker, defensive end type. But I played a little bit of you know back in my hometown, Romeo, Michigan. You know, size when it comes to height um, is far and few in between. So it's just like whenever you were a tall kid, they looked at you and they said you're playing offense and defensive line. So I did play a little bit of offensive tackle back in the day. I was super light, had decent skill, but wasn't really my calling. Wasn't really where I wanted to be. But also like I played a little bit of tight end too, but I was mostly just a defensive guy. Um, so I've basically been playing the position the whole time, but I've had some experience with tight end. So it really wasn't a transition from tight end to defensive end. It was just like I dabbled in the area of offense, but I just knew that I really belonged on defense. So
Oh yeah. But I would think you would have more of an advantage because you played that offensive line position and tight end a little bit. So it would give you better
yeah,
tendency.
I was gonna say you definitely know like what they want to get, like where they want to target for when it comes to leverage. You definitely know, you know what mainly most of the time where they're blocking, what they want, what their goal is with blocking. So like you definitely understand their tendencies. Sometimes, even when you watch film, you'll see tendencies, but like it kind of gives you a good idea of what they're trying to do, and it helps you just fight with certain with like leverage, setting an edge and just when it comes to hand fighting. So there's so many things it does help with, but yeah, I could probably say that's the biggest.
Oh, that's the biggest difference for sure. So why should NFL teams draft you, and what makes you stand out from your position?
Yeah, I mean, I think it. I just like I want people to know that like for me, it's mostly just the type of person I am. Aside from like the athletic side, it's just more of like I want to be able to go into a locker room and just really bond with guys and just be able to impact guys' lives while they're able to impact mine. And it's just like being a light in such a dark world. I want to be able to do that and just impact the community and just help a team win a Super Bowl. Really, I think teams will get a guy who will just be a hard worker regardless of what he does. Special teams, offense, defense, regardless of what it is, you're just gonna get a hard worker and a guy who just wants to win. You know, throughout my college and high school career, I've never been able to really, besides our Sun Bowl win in 21, but I never really even played in that. But like, I never really got to play in a game and actually win any type of championship, Super Bowl rings, anything. Like, but I want to be able to go into a. I've always had that mentality of trying to win a championship every single year I played football. So I want to be able to join like a program, or an organization and help a team win. And you're gonna get a guy who just attacks, relentless, to the ball, to the quarterback, whatever, doing my job at 110% every single play, as long and as hard as I can. That's just who you're going to get. And, I've got some good athletic upside and, got some good skill and technique in there too. But, like, that's just really my biggest thing is just working hard and, attacking every single play so that I can make not just myself better, but the guys around me better. And that's just the whole point of just the way I play. And I just think I can impact the game and the teams in that perspective. So
Okay, well, that kind of convinced certain teams. I mean, you're a hungry player from what you're telling me, and you want to be a part of a championship program. I mean, you're scratching and clawing. You're the kind of guy that wants to get better, and you seem to love the game. So that makes me intrigued to want to draft you or any other GM, man, because we want hungry players. We want guys who love the game. So, what NFL teams have you met with during your pro day?
um, I've talked. I didn't really like meet, talk to him after, because a lot of them I met with at the Senior Bowls. The Hula and the Shrine Bowls. So I met with a couple of those on the Senior Bowls, but I've talked to them. I knew who they were. So I guess I had some conversation a little bit, but it wasn't really like informal meeting or like formal meetings or stuff like that. If that makes sense.
Oh,
I
oh,
knew a
just like a
couple of
little
them.
conversation.
Yeah, like saying because I met with them before, so it was like saying, "Hey, what's up? How's it going?" But some of the scouts wanted to see me do some drops because they run like a 3-4. So it was cool to see that they wanted to see how my dropping is, and I was able to go and put on some decent film with. I thought I did really good when it comes to dropping, considering I didn't really drop as much in college. So, practiced that during the training and went out and had a good time. I think I was 3 for 4 on catches. So, no gloves. So,
I guess they want to see how capable you are to do that. Like you said, you had very little in college, but what do you take away from your experience at Central Michigan to get you ready for the next level?
you know, actually, what's funny is this is popping up on my For You page with like TikTok, but mostly Instagram. Is you know who Diamond Jim is with Hottie and Unk? I don't know if you've seen those on Instagram or not.
Oh no.
You gotta so if you look up Diamond Jim, but like if you look at the way they attack things, it's kind of very similar to like how we grew up, how I grew up in like high school, but mostly like at CMU, it's just kind of like how we attack things. Obviously, there's certain things we don't do that they do, but like it's just the whole mentality part about it. Is like, I'll go search them up after this. You'll understand what I'm talking about. But like basically, they attack every single workout and they like last. They have their saying called "till the death." Basically, like you're gonna go into the weight room and you're gonna die because you're gonna put so much heart. You're gonna just go put everything you can into it, and like you'll see what their meaning is. But like basically, whenever I go into a workout, you know, I'm not necessarily like going, trying to train. Well, I'm gonna train hard, but like it's just more of like a. I know that there are guys out there that are gonna be training hard, but I need to train twice as hard, and I need to be better, right? And that's what our mentality and our mojo was throughout college, and a lot of those days did suck. Like it's not supposed to be pretty, but it made you grow as a man, but as a football player as well. And so like just those tough days in the weight room, those tough days on the field, mid hot summer days, cold winter nights, like those were the days that built you as a man. And that's what I really will get more from seeing you when it goes to the next level is just your work ethic, how hard you work. I met with, or not met with, but Demarcus Ware at the Shrine Bowl came and talked to all the D line guys, and he said, the biggest thing is like that you see between just Hall of Famers and just guys in the league, average guys is like the way you work out in the off season. And it was just great advice to hear him say like you need to go and just lift crazy, go lift heavy, go get stronger, go be more explosive every single off season. And like, it's good to take care of your body, but like don't ignore the whole weight process because you need to be strong. You need to be really strong, and you need to be explosive and just fast in the league. You can't just be fast and explosive. You also got to be super strong to, be able to hold an edge to shove a guy to the ground. So I think that was really the biggest thing when it comes from like it's from a standpoint of from Central Michigan to what I can carry on is just going and dying at every workout, but understanding that that helps you grow as a man and as a person. And obviously, after you'll have stuff to get treatment and get right because you want to take care of your body as well. But like, really, when it comes to training, that's just what you want to do. Because then when it comes to a game, practice, you got to do the same thing. But when it comes to a game, that it's just like it's not even that crazy. It's nothing like that hard. That's because that's how hard you train and that's how hard you practice to make the game seem like it's just a light day.
I mean, it kind of explains what you take away from the experience. I mean, you're coming from the MAC conference. I mean, you come from a good school where there's a lot of great players that came from that program, like Antonio Brown, and you got Joe Staley. I mean, it has to be pretty intriguing just to be in campus and be a part of what those guys brought to that program.
Oh,
JJ
100%.
Watt was there at one point, if I'm mistaken, right? He was a tight end.
No, he was. He was a tight end. Great, actually, one of our best tight ends, I think, at the time. And he was a great tight end, great player too, but an even better defensive lineman. I mean, he also had some good. He played some tight end too in the league. That was actually crazy to see. But yeah, no, CMU has pumped out some great players. I remember my freshman year, I was 2021. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you know about Luke Gedeke and Bernard Raymond. They're both starting tackles for one. Luke is starting tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Bernie is the starting tackle for the Colts.
Yeah,
And
those guys came from that program.
yeah, and I remember going against them my freshman year, and like I'm just like, dude, these are huge dudes, but I'm just like, you're in college, you're in the same level, you just gotta go attack it. And I remember like it was actually one of my welcome to college moments with Bernie. I remember our first scrimmage, and like this was my first year. Like, so I've only been at CMU for 3 months, and I remember going against him, and I think the coaches were trying to see how I can last. And I'm not gonna lie, I was in a whole like 2 drives back to back. I swear, and I was getting so tired, and I was just trying to stay out there and trying to prove that I could. I mean, I wasn't doing the best, and I think every other play I was getting pancaked or thrown by Bernie. That was definitely like a welcome to the college moment, like, but just like experiencing against future pro football guys at the time was just huge, and like I learned from them a lot. I think I might have had one good rush on Bernie out of like 400 snaps, and I think I had one against Luke out of 400. But I'll always take that one.
I mean, you take it as a learning experience, and like you said, they're in the pros, so it kind of like made you adjust to that, because like you said, it's like one of those welcome moments. I mean, it's just the adjustment. Once you face somebody like that, you'll start get the hang of it. I mean, like you said, the workout routine starts to become a theme where you get stronger and better. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
you feel the moment is surreal, right? Because you grew up as a fan, right? So you probably grew up as a Lions fan, so you had to at least, or what, a Bears fan, or what team in general?
nah, I was born in Atlanta, so I grew up an Atlanta fan.
Oh, okay, Falcons. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was a kid of you that wanted to play for a certain team at one point.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I've always was like, man, I love the Falcons, because it's always like a dream, team. You always want to play for the team you've rooted for your whole life. They already have defensive ends, so I want to play for any team that wants me. That's really like once I started to realize I can play in the NFL. It's just been like and this is what a lot of guys dream of. But like any team that wants me, they're gonna get the best. That's just what I'm excited about. So
I mean, it just has to feel the surreal moment that it's possible. But like you said, whatever team gives you the opportunity, that's the best way to put the answer. But like you said, there's a kid side of you that wants to at least grow up and play for the Falcons, right? So it's got to be
Yeah,
like some kind of moment that you can live the dream, or you can actually just take whatever the team gives you the opportunity, right?
yeah. You're not wrong.
Yeah. But okay, let's get to know more about you outside of football a little bit. So outside of football, who are you as a person?
Yeah, I would just say so first and foremost, I'm a Christian. Kind of just to sum it all up, but I grew up in a Christian household, single mom raising three kids, and I'm a guy who just loves to live for the Lord, for a man who did so much for me. I went through a dark time in my life, and he was the light and the hope that I had when I felt like no one else loved me. And so that's why, like, I just live my life for him, spreading the word, just like influencing guys, just being there for guys when they need help. It's not like a forceful thing, but it's more of just like a, hey, I'm here for you to talk to you. If you feel like you're struggling, there's no way out. Like, there's a way out, and there is hope. And I've seen a lot of death and just horrible experiences growing up, so it's just like I want to be able to impact lives, and that's what I talked about earlier. I want, what I'm saying. So that's just kind of who I am. I'm also like I'm a big switch guy on the field when it comes to practicing on the field and playing football. I'm just gonna be way different. But like off the field, I'm just a cool guy. I love to fish. I love to golf. I love playing some music. I grew up playing guitar. Being in choir and stuff. So, and then sometimes I like to sit around and build Legos. Legos is a cool thing. Who doesn't like a nice little Lego that you can build and put up and watch collect dust? But yeah, so I'm really just a chill, laid back guy. I love to hunt too. I actually just got my first deer this past season. It was one of our bye weeks. I was able to go get my first deer, which was pretty cool. So yeah, I just got into hunting, so super cool with that. But yeah, I'm just love to chill, hang out, and watch movies with the wife. So that's just kind of really who I am. Grew up in a small-ish town. I wouldn't say it's that small of a big, that small, but I would technically say it's like a small town. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's just
Growing
kind of who I am.
yeah, growing up in small towns, it's like you got a lot of these country towns, a lot of the hunting stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure the lake around Michigan or something that you get accustomed to. Um, like you said, you're a family person. I mean, the Lord of Jesus Christ, you found like everybody goes through hard times. It's all about adjusting, adjusting at the same time, like they say, hard times are temporary. So you gotta find a way to get through it, like they say, and better things will come, like they.
Yeah,
But I like how you kind of put it in that way, man, because not everybody is perfect, man. Like everybody keeps thinking it's the end of the world, but it's not. You just gotta find hope and find the people around you, or like you said, the Lord can actually give you some hope with hopes of light or something, to where you can, like, some people just find the Lord and actually thank that person for the purpose. But outside of football, everybody just wants to know the person individually, but they don't know everybody's human beings, man. Look at a lot of the athletes who have dealt with suicides and other stuff, because they've been through a lot and nobody's checked on them. And it's kind of like how mental health is something that people don't realize, man.
yeah, and that's the biggest thing is that you want to be able to like, and that's why you love to have a church family, is because no matter if you're the richest, poorest, famous, least known person in the church, like no matter what it is, like your church family is your church family and they support you. But not even just that, but like your family, like your wife. At least, I mean, I hope no one has to go through the experience of their wife betraying them or their closest people, their best friend or whatever. But when you have people that truly love you and they're there around you, that's just a blessing. And they, no matter if you have the best contract, no contract, you know, uh, on a team, not on a team, you're just at an office job. They support you 100%, and you
Yeah.
support them, and that's just like the biggest thing is like having that support system. So like you can go and cry on their shoulder because you had a tough day, or you can go and be that shoulder they can cry on because you had a tough day. So that's just I think that's the biggest
Yeah.
thing, and I wish, and that's why I want to be able to be a big impact in any locker room and just like be there for people, you know, football players are people too. They're not
Yeah, they
just,
are.
they're not just machines. I mean, we're machines, but like we're not actual machines. So it's just
I
like,
mean,
you know,
outside of football, we're just human beings, just like how everybody looks at it. Like, I mean, you can be a dominant force on the football field, but as off the field, you're a human being just like everybody else. Everybody just thinks everybody's just no. Everybody is everybody else, man.
yeah.
We all got one special talent, man. Like, for example, man, I'm a security guard, I do a good job, but it doesn't mean I'm a human being, man. I'm a human being outside of my workplace, man. So
Yeah,
we're all human beings.
exactly. And that's the best
And
part about it is when you get to know someone, it's just like, oh, it's so cool to hear like your special talents, like what you can do, and like, oh, that's your job. That's so awesome, dude. Like, it's cool to connect with people. So
yeah, it's really cool to connect with people, especially for the last 4 years. I've been getting to know a lot of these players and actually be more open to them, and they've been more comfortable. And I've been giving them the good answers. I prepare for some of them for the tougher questions, but we'll do a little more rapid fire, and then we'll do more about situations. Like, for somebody who's been in the same situation as you, what would be the perfect advice for somebody who's going through a tough time like you, or actually going through something? What would be, like you said, you're a person that wants to help others.
So like you saying like what would be like advice if they're going through a tough time?
Yeah, like how you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're going through. First off, like foremost, you got to make sure, you know, you kind of just got to sit down and just think, or just kind of, I like to sit down and pray. That's the first thing I like to do. But if you're not a believer, if you're someone who doesn't believe in that, it's really just kind of sit down and meditating and breathing. Um, it's just something that helps keep you calm, and if you feel like that's not working, see people, because like I said, people were created. Um, we were made to have relationships with people, and like they are there to help take burdens off our shoulders and carry the burdens with us as well.
Exactly.
Um, so it's just like being able to have people there, but like just have one thought in your mind that like there's hope at the end of there's hope at the end of everything, even though you feel like it's just pitch black, nothing around. There's always going to be a light that shines. You just got to keep moving forward. I know that sounds a little cliche, but you just got to keep moving forward because there's always going to be hope at the end of the tunnel,
Yeah.
and you got to keep digging and keep swimming. So
Yep. Gotta keep swimming or get out of that hole a little bit. There's always that hope. You just gotta keep fighting. But so how do you prepare for your opponents, man? And what's your pregame routine for the game day?
yeah, I can't. So like I have a philosophy of pass rushing, and it's gonna be like it's just kind of different. Uh, I like to start off with like a certain move, probably first so many weeks, and then work my counters throughout the game, and then eventually I'll probably start off with a different move, just kind of to switch it up, and then work counters off of those. So like I like to keep working playing chess when it comes to football and pass rushing, specifically that. Just throughout the season because you can't really play checkers when you're pass rushing, especially in the pros. You got to play chess, and that's just how the game works. Um, and so that's just kind of how I am when I approach games. And when I watch film, you just kind of look at who your opponent is. You look for get off points, like what's the get off point? Is the ball faster than anyone else off the snap? All right, so is the ball the point you want to look at? Is the offensive is the left tackle, is their knee faster than their toe when it comes to get off? Is the guard's knee faster than the inside knee of the right guard or the right tackle? Like you want to see what point is the fastest point for get off. So I try to watch a whole game and see how that is, and then it's really just seeing how how an offensive player just changes and reacts throughout a game. You want to see how they'll change to, certain passer. You want to be able to adapt, and because I know in the league, I think they say that like on the sidelines, you just have pictures. You don't have actual film; it's just pictures. So it's like you want to look and you need to be able to retain the information and you need to go to adjust every game. So like when I prepare in a game, I want to see how a guy like how does being tired throughout the game affect him, you know, pass sets, run blocks, like how does that affect him being tired throughout a game, right? Is he a guy that gets tired? Is he a motivated guy, right? You need to approach every single offensive line unit and offensive line person individually, different by each week. And obviously, like I know that in the NFL, once you start playing the same guy over and over again, it starts to get a little easier when it comes to understanding them. But I know in the first couple seasons, and just like first season for sure, is like there's a lot of studying that goes into that. But yeah, so that's just kind of like watching them and how everything works out um, with back sets and tight end formations. Just a little bit seeing those and just kind of being prepared for what can come next. So just really watching film and just being prepared so you can react faster and just play faster if that makes sense. And
Yeah, that
then
makes.
and then just preparing. You say so you're saying like throughout a week or just like the day of the game?
Throughout the week, man. Like, because you know how you have your opponents during the week, and then how do you prepare for the game? Like, what's your game day routine after that?
Yeah, so usually I don't know specifically how the NFL works, but like I know for us since we play games of what Saturday, so Sunday would be kind of like, or sorry, Monday would be like for us it was like an off day, and then Tuesday and Wednesday were our padded days. Thursday was like a walkthrough day, and then Friday was like a speed through practice, and then we traveled. Saturday was a game, and then we had a light practice to just flush out our systems. Another active recovery deal on Sundays, and then like I said, off Mondays and routine. You know, so like I usually tend to watch a lot of run stuff Mondays, Mondays, Tuesdays, and then I start getting into like the RPO pass the next couple days, which is like Tuesday, Wednesday, and or sorry, Wednesday, Thursday, and then it's just kind of like I said. I already explained how I watch film, so that's just kind of how it works in my mind.
Okay.
Um, Probably so like in the NFL, what you play normally you play games on Sunday, and you got the rarity of not rarity, but sometimes Thursdays and Monday night games. So usually the day after the game, I'll start like I would like to I usually like to take the day to kind of relax and be with the wife and stuff. But usually on those days, I'll look for the simple things I can just get out the way, right? Keying the football, like where's the fastest point of the football, right? Who, you know what I'm saying? Key the ball, and then I'll just look at kind of like offensive line tendencies. To me, that's the simple stuff. That's the first stuff you want to look at, and then eventually I'll get into like, all right, schemes, and then what do they run heavy off of this? This read. I try not to see as a defensive end. You don't want to. It's not like you're trying to see so much to where you see little. You want to be able to see just enough to where you can see a lot, if that makes sense. So I don't want to be seeing so much where I can't play my job, but it's just like being able to see certain keys to where I can be like, all right, I have this play. Like we're running this play defensively. I know what's about to happen. So it just react quicker and play faster. So that's just kind of my deal. And then I'm very active recovery when it comes to just taking care of my body. So I'm recovering before bed. I wake up in the morning. On those off days, I'm really attacking the tubs. Um, I usually have like 2 massages in every week just to take care of the body. Stem boots, the Normatec boots, just anything I can, hot cold tub, just to take care of my body. So, and then usually the night before a game, I'm really just probably pop a movie on, watch a couple episodes of a TV show. Just really it's all about that night before a game is all about relaxing because like you've already done the preparation, you're already ready. I feel like if I try to do too much, it's just gonna stress me out to watch too much film. But like it's really just about relaxing and then finding that 1 to 2 hours of just maybe 1 hour of just envisioning of what you making plays and going and just being great for the team and just going to win. So like envisioning is a huge part about the night before a game. It's just seeing it, playing through it, and then you wake up and you just attack the day. So that's kind of like my whole week of preparation.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, when you go through an entire week, you got to know what the tendency of those opponents are and all that other stuff. So as far as all that, like going into game day, what's like your pregame routine, man? Just before you play the game.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be I think it might change just when it comes to the league. Um, what I mean by change is just add a little bit more. Because it was kind of different when it came to college. But usually, what I did was, usually I get up to the field. I go I go in front of a goalpost, and I just sit down and I pray because I thank the Lord every day and every game for just the opportunity to go play. And then I kind of walk around. I do some ankle stretches, ankle flexibility and range of motion just to get my ankles prepared for the game. And then I'll usually go through some D line drills. I'll do some strikes, sheds, and stuff, just kind of working on my striking, being able to feel good about the run game. Just simply get that out of the way, and then I'll tend to get some pass rush working, working on moves, working on some setups, just preparing. Like I said, envisioning, preparing, getting things ready for the game. Um, uh, that's usually it. Nothing too crazy. It's just preparing and getting ready. Really.
Oh, for sure, man. Um, so, what kind of defensive scheme did you guys play at Central Michigan that can translate to the next level?
Yeah, we played more of a 4-3. It looked like it was a 3-4 because we had someone called a Fox. He was like a rush end. He stood up most of the time, but it was played as a lot of the time like a 4-3
Oh, so
defense.
4-3 that looked like a 3-4.
Yeah, yeah. It was like when you watch the film, you'll understand because like you see me and two of the D tackles hand in the dirt, and then our Fox he was standing up. So like but he was still playing like kind of normal end duties. He also dropped a little bit more than usual. So like at times it seemed like it was more of a 3-4, but it was definitely playing like a 4-3.
Oh man. Okay, so you have adaptability with that kind of defense. Why should why should future college prospects should go to Central Michigan, man? What's convincing for them to come over here?
I mean, you see what they produce. They produce athletes, man. Even our seniors this year, man. We had a lot of athletes. We have a lot of athletes and a lot of athletic guys, and so like we produce athletes. We produce guys who just work hard and just attack every single day, and that's the biggest thing is just guys who attack, and that's what you get, especially from under Coach Drinkle now. He's he's putting together good players and good teams, and we had a great successful season this year. So I just know they're gonna do even better in the future. So like you're gonna see a lot of great players come out of there, and I see a lot of young players who are about to have good seasons. Had some created some good bonds with them, and they're they're good players. I'm telling you that the CMU produces good players.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of good ones that come out of that program, so you can't go wrong. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going with a program of the MAC. I mean, they've produced some good NFL talent over the years. So,
100%.
yeah, absolutely, man. So, what's the area of weakness that you feel they need to improve on at the next level?
I would just say I would say being able to last a little longer in the game. I don't know if some people say like, no, you look like you're conditioned, but just personally, I feel like I could be more of an elite level of conditioning because I just feel like sometimes it's just like kind of working on. I feel like when I get like kind of gassed in a game, sometimes I feel like I don't think as well than usual, and so I just want to be able to work on the mental aspect of it, but also just being able to just be conditioned. Like I'm a huge believer in like just staying conditioned because I mean people's bodies are made different, so like you don't have to work on being conditioned, and you're just automatically gifted to just last in a game. But for me, it's definitely something I want to work more for, especially like I was able to like play good in college and be good at with it. But I know with NFL it's just going to be a lot more aggressive every single play and a lot faster and twitchier and just times 10 from college. So I think that's just something I want to be able to grow at, have an elite level. So I'm not just out there being manhandled, if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
I just want to be able to grow in that area, and I think I could definitely be um, better when it comes to just certain types of leverage. I feel like sometimes, like with my first strike playing the run, sometimes I feel like I get caught here sometimes instead of out here to where I can keep the edge sometimes. Because this year there were sometimes I was able to recover, but when the first initial strike, sometimes I was like here, and like some like there are times I can make you like lose balance or like push you off the ball, even though if you I can recover. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to have that first initial strike so I'm not getting pushed off the ball a yard or two, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. I mean, definitely helps you around that kind of way. So after all that, bro, it seems like everything kind of checks the boxes for all what you've done throughout your career. I mean, rapid fire for a couple more easy questions. So Xbox or PlayStation if you had to choose?
Neither.
Okay.
I'm not a big console guy. So I
Okay,
don't.
so you're more of a
If
hunting
okay,
or a
if I were to
picking too.
choose, I know this is gonna be crazy. If I were to choose Xbox 360, I grew up playing that with my brother.
Okay.
So,
But if you had to choose a cheat diet to go eat, man, McDonald's or Burger King?
ah, no other options. You had to choose those two.
Or it could be, I'll give you alternate, man. Pick one.
I got you. I'll choose Burger King. I'm not gonna lie.
Uh, but it's just more like you're in the middle of nowhere, man.
Middle of nowhere. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure, Burger King.
yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with all the other options. I mean, the Whoppers are pretty good and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I think Whoppers are probably their best option. So,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. So for everything else, man, it seems like you got a bright future, man. Definitely appreciate your time, bro. Whatever the opportunities present itself, man, just take advantage of it, man. Because everything, like every little opportunity, becomes a window that you got to capitalize.
oh, of course. Well, I mean, thank you for inviting me on. It was good to talk to you. It was good to get to know you and just really let people know that there's a life out there, and go chase your dreams because no matter what, you can always live out your dream if you put the hard work in. So
Oh, for sure, man. And for everybody else, man, tell them who you are and tell them what you're currently doing.
you said, tell me who.
Well, tell them who you are again and tell them what you're currently doing right now.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm Michael Heldman, and I'm just currently preparing for the NFL draft. Just finished my pro day yesterday, so we're just taking the next couple of days to get the body right and get healthy, and then we're back at it, getting work done, working out, training, getting position drills in, and just preparing to get ready for the next level. So,
Oh, for sure, man. And for everybody else, man, go check out Central Michigan defensive end Michael Heldman, man. This man is the Nick Bosa of Central Michigan, man. This man is a technician. This guy can be a sleeper, man. Y'all better check him out, man. He's a draftable prospect, I could just say right now.
yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. And for everybody else, thank you guys for tuning in.